I really need your help. Which one do you think I should wear?
Because?
Because you're gonna have a pretty dress. So I want to look right.
So, it's been revealed that Disney is considering bringing Zac Efron back for a High School Musical return. Now, some of you might be thinking this could be a disaster, but recent comments from Zac about his time on the franchise have given fans some hope. Just recently, Zac reflected on filming that iconic basketball scene from High School Musical 18 years ago. When actors revisit old franchises like this, it often hints at something bigger, like maybe a potential sequel. So the big question is, will High School Musical 4 actually happen? Here's what we know so far about a fourth movie, plus why Zac's return might not be the best idea after all. There's a harsh reality surrounding the ending of High School Musical 3 that complicates the idea of a fourth movie. The third installment saw the core group of characters, Troy, Gabriella, Ryan, Sharpay, Chad, and Taylor, coming to terms with the end of their high school journey. As they prepared to leave East High, the focus shifted from the fun and carefree mood of the previous films to the heavier question of what comes next. In the first two movies, the students were learning about themselves and embracing their uniqueness, while High School Musical 2 explored their interactions over the summer. But by the end of High School Musical 3, the characters were facing the reality of their futures. Troy Bolton's on-screen ending was a pivotal moment, and it seemed to close the door on High School Musical 4. At the end of High School Musical 3, Troy announces that he plans to pursue both basketball and theater, suggesting that the University of California, Berkeley would allow him to juggle his passions. However, this decision introduces a significant complication. The reality of balancing both basketball and theater would be much more difficult than simply managing his identity. As Troy moves on from high school, he would have faced some serious administrative and logistical challenges. While it's possible Troy could have pursued drama while playing college basketball, the bigger issue would have been what happened when he entered the real world. College is a time for specialization, where students focus on honing a specific skill or field of study. For Troy, juggling basketball, theater, and his relationship with Gabriella would have likely led to burnout. The demands of balancing these two passions, combined with the need to focus on a career, would have been exhausting. Eventually, Troy would have had to make a choice between his two dreams, which adds a layer of complexity to the possibility of continuing his story in High School Musical 4. On the other hand, there is still a possibility for Zac Efron to return to High School Musical, but in a very different role. Instead of being the high school senior Troy Bolton we knew, he could return as a father, perhaps with high school-aged children of his own. While a fourth movie didn't make sense back when the original characters were still in college, the timing now presents an interesting opportunity. If High School Musical 4 were made today, it would take place at least 16 years later, and though Zac Efron might not return as the fresh-faced heartthrob, there's still room for a continuation of the story. In High School Musical, the series, there was a subplot about a fictional High School Musical 4 being filmed at East High, with some original cast members making an appearance. While this was a fun meta take, it left Troy and Gabriella's fate open-ended, suggesting they were in therapy later in life. This leaves room for a real High School Musical 4 to explore where the characters are now. The sequel could dive deeper into Troy's dual passions for basketball and theater, exploring the challenges of balancing these dreams while presenting the familiar theme, you can be anything you want to be. With 16 years passing since the characters graduated high school, the timing would be perfect for Troy and Gabriella to have a family. Their kids could now be in high school, and the story could shift to Troy, helping them discover their own passions while he rediscovered his. In High School Musical 4, Zac Efron could play Troy in his 30s, someone who may have let go of his theater and basketball dreams for a more practical path like business, only to find himself burnt out and questioning his choices. This midlife crisis could provide a great opportunity for Troy to revisit his old passions, reaffirming the message that you can still reinvent yourself no matter your age. The most satisfying conclusion could see Troy returning to East High, where he once sang and danced, but now teaching drama and coaching basketball, passing on the legacy to his kids, potentially setting up a High School Musical 5 with a new generation. The mockumentary style of High School Musical: The Musical the Series was a unique and successful choice for the spin-off, but there was one pitch for a Zac Efron cameo that definitely would have been a disaster. For those who aren't familiar, HSM TMTS is a musical drama about the drama department at East High, the school made famous by High School Musical. It ran for 4 seasons, starring Joshua Bassett, Olivia Rodrigo, and Andrew Barth Feldman. While the show never managed to get Zac Efron to reprise his role as Troy Bolton due to scheduling conflicts, series creator Tim Federle did reveal one odd pitch for Efron's cameo. In an interview with the New York Times, Federle shared that a Disney executive once suggested having one of the mockumentary cameras turn around to reveal Zac Efron playing himself behind the camera. It's a pretty wild idea, but in the end, Federle wisely decided to pass on it. Looking back, not including this cameo was definitely the right call. While it may have seemed like a fun plot twist, making Zac Efron appear as himself in the mockumentary format would have been a huge mistake. If Efron was ever going to return to HSM TMTS, it should have been as Troy Bolton, his iconic role. That would have been a perfect moment for the series, but having him play himself would have blurred the lines between reality and fiction way too much, creating confusion for fans. Also, it's probably for the best that Efron didn't make an appearance in HSM TMTS at all. The spin-off worked hard to establish its own identity, separate from the original High School Musical movies. Bringing Efron back could have overshadowed the characters the show had spent time developing. Plus, Zac Efron's time with the High School Musical franchise is behind him. He's long since moved on from Disney Channel, and at this point, even Troy Bolton shouldn't be going back to high school. That said, we also have to consider why Disney's idea of Zac Efron returning for a cameo in High School Musical: The Musical the Series probably wouldn't have happened anyway. Even if Tim Federle had been on board with the idea of Efron appearing as a mockumentary filmmaker, it just wouldn't have made sense. The show couldn't even get Efron to return for a full-on cameo as Troy Bolton, so asking him to pop in for a silly gag behind the camera would have been a stretch. At best, it would have been a fun moment, but at its worst, it might have cheapened Efron's legacy in the High School Musical franchise, reducing his iconic role to a joke. That being said, while Zac Efron's return never materialized, HSM TMTS wasn't short on High School Musical alumni cameos. Corbin Bleu, Lucas Grabeel, and Casey Stoll all made appearances throughout the series, helping to bring some of that original High School Musical magic to the spin-off. So while fans might still be longing for Efron's Troy Bolton, it's probably for the best that this particular cameo idea never came to life. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.